Hello, Marvel Strike Force fans. It is your friend, the Fasting Comic Guy here, and today I'm going to give a suggestion for a team that I like to use that does pretty well against countering the Asgardians team on a war defense. So, as you can see right here, this was me. I did a team that was AIM that was 222,000 K against a 191,000 team. Now, if anyone has any experience fighting the Asgardians, they know you can have a really high overpowered team and they will just destroy them. I used like a defenders team, for example, against Asgard, and I had like well over 100,000 on them, and they just destroyed the defenders. So really it depends on the team. I think this is actually a pretty even match, to be honest. I do have it recorded. I will go over the recording later. But basically, this is my reasoning behind the AIM team that I think. So the great thing about AIM is they have great survivability and they just toss debuffs on the other team like crazy. And I think that's basically the key to defeating the Asgards. Now, another team that is actually suggested, I just use a pure AIM team, but some people do suggest using a Ultron in the mix. So they would probably actually take out the AIM researcher and put in AIM Ultron. The reason why Ultron works great with it is because he provides a buff for the tech villains, which is basically your entire AIM team. And so the thing that I liked most about this is that they just, like I said, they tossed debuffs on the Asgardian team like crazy, that they couldn't really keep up with it. So when they were doing it, they weren't able to basically keep themselves from, because they had disrupts, they had bleeds, they had heal immunity, like they had stuns. So this is what we ended up doing. So when I did it, I first selected obviously the team, and then I put my AIM team in there. And so when I was doing the entire fight, I was able to basically keep it on auto, which I know it's that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to explain it, but all I did was I just had my priority targets and I just had on auto and just basically let the computer choose the abilities to use at the time, which pretty much are the same ones that I would use anyways. So the priority order usually is kill Thor and then kill Hela. Now, the annoying thing is, if you aren't able to kill Thor right away, then Sif will taunt and you'll basically be stuck with Sif. So when I first started out here, I stunned Thor and I got him to just below the halfway health point. He had a disrupt on, so Loki couldn't toss his stealth on him, but I got the taunt from Sif, so basically I was stuck attacking Sif for quite a while, and with all the debuffs on and the slows on Thor, he was able to stay stunned the entire time, and by the time Sif's taunt was done, I was able to finish off Thor. As you can see here, there's lots of ability blocks going on for Sif also. Ability blocks are pretty much the main thing. I ended up killing Sif first, which I end up doing all the time first. Like the priority, if you can, kill Thor first, but if you're unable to, then do what you gotta do. So then I went after Hela. Again, she had the ability blocks based on from all the debuffs from my AIM team, so she didn't end up getting any of the stealth from Loki, which makes things incredibly easy. Once Thor is dead, the fight, you don't have to worry about damage basically being done to your team. Once Hela's done, you don't have to worry about those Gregs coming up anymore. And yeah, basically once Hela and Thor are done, just go after the last three people that you want, and in whatever order you want. I would, if I had a choice, like my order that I would do would be Thor, Hela, Loki, Heimdall, and then Sif. But it doesn't always work out that way, as you saw in my attack here. Even though it was a little bit of a punch down, it wasn't a dramatic punch down. But it was still, I'd say it was a pretty even fight. But as you can see here, AIM team does pretty well on their own against an Asgardian team. And it wasn't that weak of an Asgardian team. Like, they're not the most, it wasn't the most powerful one I've seen, but it definitely wasn't the weakest one I've seen. Other teams that work great on a Asgardian team would be the X-Men with Phoenix, and basically, yeah, again, same thing. You can just go in there if you have Phoenix. You can pretty much auto a Asgardian team, as long as you just, like, reasonably, yeah, as long as they're both reasonably evenly matched. If you have like a much weaker X-Men team, obviously you'd probably lose, but you could still do a pretty big punch up actually to a Asgard team with a X-Men team. So yeah, that's my suggestion. So if you don't have like an amazing X-Men team, and you happen to have a AIM team, they would be the team that I would use for it. You can do the Brotherhood. They wouldn't do too bad, but they're kind of like a 50-50 mix. And Power Armor, they do have the new Ironheart coming out, and apparently them with Ironheart being evenly matched with a Asgard team is supposed to be about a 50-50 also split. So that's another thing that you can try, and that's only when Ironheart comes out. Right now with what's his name, Vision, it's probably, you'd probably have to have a little bit more power for it. But yeah, with the Power Armor team, it's supposed to be about 50-50. Obviously, you could also use the Fantastic Four against an Asgardian team. Again, they'd probably be doing about maybe a 40k, you plus or minus, depending on the level of the Asgardian team and the room buffs that room currently has. So yeah, that's my video on what to do with a Asgardian team for a free-to-play player. All these characters are farmable. So this one is in the Arena store, this one's in the War store, Graviton, and the other ones are just nodes that you can farm in campaigns. So I hope that video was helpful. If you thought it was helpful, please hit the subscribe button on the left, and please check out one of the other videos on the right. And if you have any comments on other strategies to go against the Asgardian team, please let me know in the comments below. And you guys have yourselves a great day, a great night, and a good morning. Peace.